going on, Jerome's? So, for entertainment purposes only, as always. So, of course, we know that sometimes Andy likes putting down a jelly bean or two, right? And sometimes goes third person like a douche. But this year, Jordan Addison likely facing a 3-game suspension to start the season. So, I feel like people are undervaluing Addison in the season because of the suspension, right? And I do think that Addison is going to have a fantastic third season. And also after this year, he is eligible for an extension. So that certainly could play into things where you have players in quasi-contract years that it just seems to have a little bump up, right? And also, speaking of bump, just the highlights, just the beautiness, just everything. And early on in camp, the JJ to Addison connection is looking pretty damn good, especially with Justin Jefferson up on blocks likely for the rest of training camp. So I do think that 9 and 3 is going to be the place to be, and also the best wide receiver doing the National Football League. That certainly helps too. Long story longer, Pro Football Focus, frenemies of the Vikings, NFL Betting 2025, one prop to target for each NFC team, and for the Vikings, I like it. The wager, the jelly beans, Jordan Addison over 750.5 receiving yards plus 100. So even money that he's over 750. I cannot possibly find enough jelly beans, right? Again, entertainment purposes only. Feel pretty good about this one. Over his first 2 NFL seasons, Addison caught a pass from 5 different quarterbacks, yet he still managed to generate more than 850 yards in each campaign. Although Addison faces legal challenges and possible suspension heading into the start of the season, his nearly 900-yard projection should put him well within range of the over should he avoid a suspension. Now, also want to find alternate markets, like what odds do you get for over 1,000? Maybe 275, maybe plus 300, maybe something to look into, right? And Addison has progressed throughout his first 2 seasons. First year he had 911 yards, 10 touchdowns, which is great because he had 75 different quarterbacks, right? And also, that interesting enough, that's the year that Jefferson missed 7 games with a hamstring, so he was the de facto wide receiver 1, especially that San Francisco game. Woo! Come on, man. Then 2024, I did miss a couple games early on, and also most of the first game with that high ankle sprain, which it's such a weird year last year. So he had the high ankle sprain on one side from the Browns joint practices, and then he high ankle sprain on the other side in the week 1 against Daniel Jones and the Giants in those ugly uniforms, right? But in 15 games, still racked up 99 for 875, or 63 for 875, 9 touchdowns, which is pretty impressive, right? And I feel like people are going to downplay Addison this year, both in the over/under props market as well as in fantasy football. If you partake. Yeah. But why this is value? So I think they're over-indexing the suspension. All right, so you see this in fantasy where he's dropping like a rock, and people aren't planning ahead because Addison is going to be available later in the season, both in fantasy as well as racking up and stacking up these stats. Plus, his chemistry with McCarthy is going to progress in real time throughout the season. And also underrating JJ McCarthy in general. So first time starter, you're like, okay, well, the Vikings want to run the ball more, and JJ, look at his Michigan numbers, But I think that people are underestimating both of them. Also, the Jefferson gravity of taking 2-3 defenders at a time. And Addison one-on-one against cornerback 2s, I'll take that. Plus, Kevin O'Connell, he digs the deep ball. He loves the A-dot, and that's something that Addison excels at. Respect. Even though he's slighter in frame, he's a dog downfield fighting for contested catches. He gets deep. He gets behind the defense. And I feel like that's where it's going to be, right? And, McCarthy does have a solid deep arm. And I feel like even if the Vikings do emphasize the run game and maybe have the governor on McCarthy a little bit to start, they're going to open things up a little bit. Especially the 9-3 connection, it's palpable, right? In training camp, it is looking really good from McCarthy to Addison. Also, free 3. Plus, I feel like, even though obviously it's a situation of his own making, but I feel like there will be a little chip on the shoulder after the suspension, both for Addison as well as for the team. And it could be like a little mini FU tour for the rest of the season. So, again, going through over 750.5, I kind of like it. Let's get paid. That's right. Because not only do the Vikings have the best wide receiver in the game, Again, hope the hamstring is good to go, but Addison is going to thrive, right? And I feel like the Vikings do have two aces in this spot. It's good to go, right? But your thoughts are thoughts. We like it. We like a couple of jelly beans on the over 750 for Jordan Addison this season, even with the suspension, even with it. Also, actually, I would wait until they formally announce the suspension, and then the total might go lower, or the odds on it might get better, because I feel like a lot of people are going to pile drive the other side. So, something to think about. Your thoughts are thoughts. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.